Adhidev. Welcome or welcome back to, and for all audiences, welcome to LegalEdge LLB YouTube channel. Congratulations. I am extremely excited for this interview because of the exceptional story and all that we have to share with our audience, students, a lot of people struggling with, say, like the next thing in their career. And congratulations. And let's just start off with that one question, which none of my students have an answer to, but I still ask them, how does it feel?
First of all, good evening, ma'am, and thank you to the LegalEdge team for giving me this chance to, present my story. I guess the feeling is pretty good. Like, I'm not a person who expresses a lot, but yes, it is a good feeling. Like, I had worked hard for the exam, and getting a at 23 is a big thing. So, yeah, I'm very happy for it.
I performed really, really well, and very interesting journey as well. So just walk us through. I know I already have like a very detailed background, and I was very clear that I want the audience to know this. So just walk us through your journey, your undergrad, your SSB experience, and then finally law. So just walk us through the entire journey.
So, like, I'll go from my class 12 times. So, I was like, I've been born and brought up in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh. And like most of the people, plus like even my family background has been the defense background, so I was really inclined towards joining the armed forces, like any of it, air force, army, or navy. So I had taken PCM for that as well. I had given India as well, and there are other entries as well, like engineering entries, TES, and navy tech entries as well. So I was very focused upon those examinations, or the defense examinations. So I had given my SSBs as well. Back in 12th, I had given 6 SSBs, and like there is one screen out process and one conference out process. So I used to constantly get conference on from it. In one, I was recommended as well. I had scored AIR 138 in technical entry scheme, but again, I got merit out. So I had no like options there. So I had to go with my undergrad. Plus, like I guess the law stream was always there for me. I had given CLAT as well. I had secured HPNLU, but I didn't go for it. Plus, like I had also given SLS, the law exam for symbiosis. I didn't go for it because like I was like, no, I'll pursue my BA. It will help me with my written exam for CDS examinations as well. So I pursued my BA in political science from Dharamshala only, Government College Dharamshala. And now, like, I had prepared for CDS as well in my final year. I had cleared the CDS and AFCAT as well. But again, I got confessed out. So, like, in my backup, back in the time, I didn't think much of law because, like, armed forces was my first love. So, when that first love things comes up, there is no practicality left. So I was not much prepared with my backup options. So later on, when I sat down, I saw like, okay, law is a good option for me. So, a few of the forms were out by then. Like I didn't give for CUET PG, the form was gone. MST CET also, the form was gone. But like NLSAT and NLU Odisha was still there. So I'd applied for those forms. The issue with NLSAT was that I had my SSB, like NLSAT exam was on 26th April. So I had come back from my SSB by around 20th April. So like I had a week left only. And before that also I was focusing on only on my SSB. So NLSAT I couldn't clear. But like for this NLU Odisha, I had 2 weeks. So in between that process, I was determined कि नहीं अब तो ढंग से करना है मुझे. So उसके बाद I started my prep. I had the course with LegalEdge. So you know whenever you give an exam, you need some a path for the exam. Jesse, in CDS also they ask you current affairs, in AFCAT also they ask you current affairs, but you should know what kind of questions are asked. So I guess that is where legal edge helped me a lot. Even like the legal questions, the law of contracts were taught, the tort contracts, the criminal contracts as well. So I guess that helped me a lot as well. Plus, like the mentors that were there, Harpreet ma'am and Shubhi ma'am also, they also guided me. I was also confused about pursuing MA in political science or like law. So like the way they talked to me, the way they said that how LLB is a better option than MA. So I guess yeah, that helped me a lot, and now I guess yeah, that is true. Destiny took me here.
I think law was always, very destined and written because SLS, HPNLU, then SSB, and then I remember the discussions that you can confuse that whether you should pursue your master's, MA, or you should go for law. And then after having did like a thorough assessment, pros and cons, we dialed down to that LLB is the right career option for you. And I understand it was extremely hectic for you and there were a lot going on, but I think you put in your best foot forward. And a lot of your learnings for CDS, FCAT, NDA, you could leverage. because nevertheless you were doing a lot of aptitude there. You had to be very thorough with current affairs, GK. So a lot of learnings could actually be leveraged here. So even though you had like limited time, but then there was a lot of background preparation that was already done, which you could leverage for Odisha. And very interestingly, I would want to highlight it for everyone actually, is that we'll still be trying SSB, and you will have like an additional option once you're done with law, JAG.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
again, as far as you're concerned about destiny, we'll continue to give it an opportunity and we'll build it alongside law. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Just for all students, I think there are a lot of people who struggle with this question, that is law worth it? Anything, because you've been through that journey wherein you had different options, and people post graduation would generally consider either to go for masters, MBA, or they prepare for government examinations. It could be CDS, like bank exams, UPSC, etc. Law is another avenue that they can consider and offers a lot of career opportunities, but they largely remain unaware. So, just to add to it and help people decide better in terms of career upgrade for themselves.
So like for all the people who are out there, when you talk about LLB, I guess it is like the bigger circle. Even through LLB, you can go for different streams. Like when I talk about MA for specific, there are two options only that you are left with, generally two. That is the research work, or you can go for like the professorship and other teaching lines. Even in LLB, you can get that. Research job is there. You can pursue your LLM as well. Later on, also you can become a professor. So I guess that is where I took MA aside from LLB. So that is where I was sure कि हाँ ठीक है LLB करना है. Even in case of MBA, MBA also offers you a corporate life. LLB, if you are doing LLB from a good college, like in my case, NLU Odisha gives you a lot of opportunities in corporate law as well. So I guess that is again where the two things are coming together. So I feel it was also my interest because when you talk about LLB, there is one case, two people are fighting against, having a case against each other. And, it is the same law, the same, process is there. But again, the way you interpret those two things, like the way the people are interpreting it differently, I guess that is what fascinated me more towards law than MBA. So I guess, you should have that mental clarity ki karna kya hai. So just sit down,
Kind
for a
of
while, take a
lifestyle you
week.
basically want.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, continue, continue.
So like have that mental clarity. Just sit down, you can even take like a week, but just sit down, note down the pros, the cons that are there. Think of the life that you want in your future. If you want some more of a corporate life, you want to go for MBA, you like that lifestyle, then go for it. If you like the LLB lifestyle, even after LLB, there are a lot of fields that are open for you. You can go for litigation again, there is corporate law. Again, you can give different government exams. Even after doing your law, there are other exams, like there is a law officer examinations and other ADA examinations and other examinations like that as well. So have that clarity, sit down, have that introspection within you, talk to yourself, talk to other people, talk to your seniors. And yes, then when you have that clarity, go for whatever you want and give it your all.
Think very well articulated and explained. Something, so essentially, students should write it down. I think you add a lot of clarity once you've written it down, and take a very objective assessment. And should also be actually based on your strength and weaknesses. There are certain
Yes,
examinations that demand certain skills. You have to actually assess that whether or not you have the time, effort, and energy for that skill which is also required. You might be like more comfortable doing an aptitude based examination versus solving high level mathematics or science. So I think very well articulated and explained, Adidev. Last question before we conclude. A lot of students will be appearing for 2027. Any non-negotiables for them? Any suggestions for them? Things that they should take note of?
sure, ma'am. Like for whatever ever exams the aspirants are going for, like when I was going for NLU Odisha, I had that, mental plan ki ha, I want English to be like this. I want my legal knowledge to be like this. Like I had broken down all the different sections that were there. So then after, you can solve the mock tests. You can solve the previous papers that are there. I always suggest to go for an online course because then, you just have to follow that course only. From your side also you have to put the effort, but I guess when the mentors are there, the teachers are there, they'll help you guide in a better way as well. Plus, like whenever you're giving exam for a particular state, like I had given for Odisha, so have a bit of a knowledge about the state GK as well.
State
Like
specific
even
GK.
this year, Yes, ma'am. Even this year, like the question related to Chandipur was asked.
Yes.
So, it is in Odisha only. So have that basic knowledge like the GI tags or maybe things like that. Plus, like even during your examination, being mentally aware is very important. Like this year, there was a question asked on the correct spelling of mischievous. So, two options had the same answer.
Same
So,
answer.
I was able to, get it कि हाँ यही है इसमें ही होगा. So, that is how, being mentally aware is important. Plus, whenever you go for an exam, just be calm. If you are conscious or if you are worried, I guess you lose half of the battle there. But if you're calm, if you're confident, you will win half of the battle there only. Thereafter, the 2 hours or 1.5 hours that you are left with, it is just your preparation and whatever the hard work that you have done in the previous months.
I think great way to put it. Couple of things that I would want to highlight is all LLB entrances, they actually test how generally aware you are. So you're given perfect examples, the spelling of mischievous or other questions. NLUO this year, I think they leveled up in terms of the question paper, slightly on the, I mean, moderate to difficult, but even in terms of GK and of course, with LLB entrances, you should expect state specific GK. It'll be largely from say like current affairs, in fact some part of history as well. But great observation. And another important thing is that while you're preparing for any entrance, while it is important to know what to study, it is very important to know what not to study. That is where your mentors come in, that is where your plan comes in. So great suggestions, and I'm pretty sure I think your story will inspire a lot of people, and will I hope I get one day we're doing like a similar interview wherein like either it's SSB, JAG, whatever. But I wish you all the luck, and we're always here to root for you. Thank you so much for your time, Adhidev.